Welcome to another Your Tech Report video. Today we're going hands-on with the Mevo Live Event Camera. The Mevo Live Event Camera has been out for quite some time. There's actually a Mevo Plus available right now, but this gives you an interesting opportunity because you can get your hands on the original Mevo, which is really quite as good as the Mevo Plus, for a fraction of the cost. So what is the Mevo Live Event Camera? Well, let's move down here and I'll talk to you while I unbox this. The Mevo Live Event Camera is a small camera that's almost the size of a GoPro that allows you to record and stream live events or from live events on Facebook Live, Periscope, plus other places depending on, of course, the app and your services that you want to stream to in pretty good 1080p, even 4K video quality. Here's how Mevo works, and this is why Mevo is kind of different. Mevo features a Sony 4K camera as its primary lens. So it's a 4K camera, but it's a wide-angle, extra wide-angle lens. The design of the Mevo is actually kind of cool. If you take a look at it here, and we'll take the plastic off right now so you can get a much closer look. The design is very similar to a GoPro where you have a focus on a wide-angle lens right here. But it's a unique cylindrical design that allows you to do a couple different things. On the back of the actual device itself, there's a micro USB slot so you can power it continuously or charge the battery that's on board. There is a battery on board. There's also an accessory that you can get for this that adds on lots of hours of streaming time if you want to power it just off the battery. I've used this in many occasions, but I've used it just off the powered mode because I didn't want to have to worry about charging a battery. It comes with a 16 gig micro SD card right here, but you can of course replace that for a 64 gig or a higher capacity if you want to do that as well. So let's dive into what's in the box itself, because in the box we've got a lot of fun stuff. So we've got the box itself, quick start guide, very well laid out. You've got 3 components here in the box. You've got 3 components right there. We'll bring it down here so you can actually unbox them. Power, we've got the little base, and we've got USB and micro SD as well. So let's pop out what's here and see what's inside. So let's start with the power. So this is going to be a charging port. Got the power adapter right there. Nice Mevo branded power adapter right there with the folding prongs. So you can pack that up quite nicely and plug in a USB cable right there. That's all that's in the charging port here. So we'll pop that back in there because we don't need to charge it right away. The base to the actual Mevo camera. So here's what's interesting about this base. This base comes already threaded for different kinds of connectors. So the threading right there, the adapter that's in there, allows you to connect this to a traditional kind of camera connector. So this is like a tripod or a small like Joby Gorilla mount type thing if you want to mount this somewhere strange. And if you unscrew this little adapter here, you're actually able to mount this on a traditional microphone pole, which is cool because they do mean this for live events, and they really talk about bands and different uses for this camera, and bands is one of those things like small clubs, small performances you might want to broadcast live on Periscope, on Facebook Live, etc., on Twitter. So the way this works is pretty simple. So the cutout kind of matches over here. It kind of camera sits on the bottom, and then there's a locking mechanism here. You can see the locking mechanism here. You just slide it over and it locks. So now the camera is in place. Now also in the box is a really long USB, micro USB cable. This is probably about a 10-foot cable, which is really cool because when you want to mount this somewhere, you're going to want to mount it somewhere and actually be able to power it or charge it. So the long cable comes in extremely handy. And it comes with a micro SD adapter, the micro SD adapter right there, so you can plug in your micro SD card. So what's really unique about this Mevo camera? Well, let's power it on for a second and walk you through the process here. So you press and hold the power button at the top of this device, and it will start glowing a different color to show you that it's actually powered on. This one doesn't have any power, so we're going to have to plug this in, and it'll start charging the internal battery, but it'll allow us to actually use the camera as well. So let's make some space over here. Let's take a look at this camera for a second. We're going to press and power it on at the top of the power button, and Mevo's going to turn on. Now, to demonstrate this, we're going to take out my iPad. So we've got ahead and we've downloaded the free Mevo app. This is an app that's available in the App Store. And really, I tell you, sometimes it's not about the hardware, it really is about the software. So what we're going to do is Mevo sets up its own local hotspot. So we're going to connect to the Mevo hotspot, which should be already there and available. And we should see that hotspot kind of appear on the iPad here. There we go, Mevo and serial number. Once we connect to it, we'll be able to go back to the Mevo app, and we should be able to connect directly to the camera. We connect to the camera and we see immediately an image of what the camera sees here. So I'm leaning on the camera right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the camera itself. I'm going to position it somewhere where you can see multiple angles in my office here. Forgive the mess. So here we have a view of what's going on in my office. Now, this is a full 4K view of what the Mevo sees. But here's where it gets interesting. There's an option for multi-cameras. Now, when you go to it right now, all you're seeing is the center image here. You're seeing one shot. But let's say, for example, that this chair was its own shot. And let's say that this stool was its own shot. And let's say that this area in the back of the room was its own shot, and this little mug in the front was its own shot. Now when we go to the multi-shot view, you see you have different angles from this 4K camera. You see, a 4K camera is such high resolution that you can actually split it down to 1080p images so that when you're streaming, you can almost live direct a shoot thanks to that wide angle and thanks to those 1080p different areas, and actually shoot a video that looks pretty cool with different angles and different shots. So let's say we're doing a live shoot right now. You can see that this is wide. These are static shots, so we could always flip between these shots. And while you're flipping between, you could be streaming to your device. So right here in the app, you can hit record, and you can see right there, you can stream to Vimeo, you can do live stream, you can do Facebook Live, Periscope, or even directly to YouTube, or you can just record an HD video. So let's say I record an HD video. I can give it a name if I want to give it a name, and now I'm recording. You can see that it's recording directly to the internal SD card there. You can see how much time is left on that video on the bottom there. As I switch to the multicam view, I can actually choose my shots while I'm actually streaming and or recording this live video. There's tons of features to dive into with the Mevo app. You can do color correction on the spot with different filters. There's an automatic mode that will automatically find faces and automatically zoom into those faces, so you can actually have it follow automatically. If this was a news type show and you had two people on a stage, it'll actually find the faces, it'll realize who's talking and whose mouth is moving, and it'll switch to that shot of that person. So this really is a live event camera like I've never seen before. Lots of very cool things you can do. So we're going to stop recording now, slide to stop. Good safety feature. Your recording is in the library to view. So if you tap on that library right there and we take a look at that recording, remember how I was shooting different shots at the beginning? Well, I was able to pick those independent HD shots throughout, creating this live event mixed like I'm an actual producer with a whole switcher in front of me. All thanks to this one 4K wide field of view camera. Really, really cool. And I think that we've probably seen events, we don't even realize that we've seen events using this Mevo camera before, and you wouldn't even have noticed because it's taking that 4K image and it's grabbing those 1080p. It's just taking the 4K image and it's grabbing those 1080p screenshots and using those to actually broadcast, which is really, really neat. A lot of cool features on board here. I got this camera for $349 Canadian on Amazon.ca. As I said, there is a plus version available that retails for about $500 Canadian. Shop around. We'll put some links in the description below. It is the Mevo Live Event Camera. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. We've got very cool videos on stuff like this and really cool gadgets and tech. And we thank you for making all this possible. And leave a comment below if there's something that you want us to talk about, because we do want to know what you want to find out about this camera before you perhaps buy it. Thanks for watching. We will see you on the next video.